Hello, everybody. We are the Geeks and Degenerates. I am Enzo. This is my forever co-host, Jum. Today, we're talking about another spy thriller that is a classic, just for one phrase, and that is Taken. Uh, did you think Liam Neeson could do action like this before watching Taken? We had Qui-Gon, we had Ra's al Ghul.
We had Aslan.
I forget he's Aslan. Right. He's Jesus
Hey,
Lion.
Yeah, he's God Lion.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Technically, he died on that. Okay, anyway, we're not talking about Narnia. No, I don't think so. It's like, last time I saw him was like Love Actually. And I was like, oh, this guy can actually do, action.
You're right.
It's like, cool.
Yeah. I saw this in 2010s. I saw this during high school. I didn't see it when it was released because I wasn't allowed to watch, ultra-violent action movies until a certain age. So I was like, cool, this is the first one I'm going to watch. And I was amazed. I was like, oh, I hope Liam Neeson is in more action movies forever. Kind of regret making that wish. Because I should have been like, I wish he was in good action movies for here and out.
No, I remember watching this probably 2017. Like I would always hear about it. I would see the memes. Yes, I'm a little bit too late on the bandwagon here, but I think the memes and the internet kind of ruined the movie for me.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't take it seriously.
Like some of the sites, you're like, the memes. You would think this is one of the greatest action movies of all time, and it's good, but it's not the greatest. Not shitting in the movie, but it's a good. I was about to say it's a good start. It's the only good movie of this franchise, in my opinion.
It's on the same level as Equalizer, but Equalizer has like more than one good movie.
Equalizer, alright. The sequel had Pedro Pascal. I forget about that, and that's another one this year, I think.
Yes.
But yeah, and it's a simple start of like ex-CIA guy, or you don't know it's a CIA guy until the barbecue later with his friends, is trying to get in touch with his daughter Kim, who's played by Maggie Q, and the wife is played by Thank Me Jensen, who's famous for being not Rogue.
Jean Grey.
Jean Grey, yeah.
We both almost said Rogue.
Yeah, like, no, that's not Anna Paquin. But it's a simple start of like, oh, dad trying to get to know his daughter better, trying to get in touch after being in the service for years and losing touch for service to his country. But his parents,
An ex-wife is oddly a horrible person.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, hey yo, right off the bat, she's like trying to stop him from enjoying personal time with his daughter.
Yeah.
It's like, hey yo, bitch, back up. Let it happen.
Yeah, she's like, Steve, can you bring out the pony? They're bonding. You're like,
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Right? They were like, oh, I got you this karaoke machine because I knew you liked to sing, which was like so sweet because she was like, oh, it's rude to open a present before, the present opening part of the birthday.
Yeah.
But she was like, oh, I always wanted to, she always wanted a karaoke machine.
Yeah.
Like, there's a very good father-daughter relationship. And I was like, this is so healthy. And then the mom's like, bring out the pony because I'm better. I'm like, okay. Rich husband, come here.
Yeah. But Brian's trying to make a living too. He has his friends. They offer him a bodyguard position, and he guards this. I don't know what singer that was.
She I don't know. I don't think she's real.
Okay. Singer, and she's almost stabbed during her concert. You're like, Jesus Christ. Okay.
What's that thing?
Yeah.
I really don't get it.
Yeah.
Like,
did you say
that
something
goes-
political?
Right? Like, what goes through somebody's head where, like, somebody's famous? I don't like that. Like...
I felt stabby. But you see Brian's capabilities. You're like, alright.
Not bad.
Makes
Not
sense.
bad. A little too cutty on the action sequence. It's not bad.
It's like the Firstborn movie. We're like, it can be better with the action, but like...
Okay, I would say this one's a little bit better than the Firstborn movie. The Firstborn movie almost made me throw up.
Yeah, they went ham on those.
Yeah, just cut.
Yeah. But yeah. And then he asks the singer. The singer says, "Hey, look, if your daughter wants to be a singer, here's my card. I was like, all right.
Yeah,
And then
you saved my life. Here's some coaching tips. Just call me.
And then he meets with his daughter Kim, but Kim's excited because she has to ask permission because she's still technically a minor, but she wants to travel abroad to France, and she's like, "Can you please sign this?" And she's like, "No," for obvious reasons. She's like, "I don't want you traveling, just the two of you." And you're reminded, like, that makes sense.
Yeah, when you're watching this, you're like, yeah, seems about right. And you're like, okay, you know what I gotta say? Him giving her coaching lessons by the pop star that she likes, it's a way better alternative than going to Paris to watch U2 of all things.
What? I don't know why I was like, she just wants to see you. You're like, U2? Really?
I was like, I feel like that's
like, how old is your
that's like so old.
Like, how old is your daughter again? She's like 17. Why U2?
Exactly. I don't know. U2's a good band, but it's just like, I mean, they're in everybody's Apple playlist.
I mean, they were very much popular when everybody has like an iPod, you know, the handheld stuff. But yeah.
Yeah. No offense, Bono.
Yeah. I don't think he's rich. He's fine. But yeah, Brian's reluctant, but like, the wife is like, "Hey, you need to let your daughter grow." Stop, you know, squeezing her. But you're like,
no,
she's traveling abroad,
that's so weird, though. She's 17, a minor, and she was like, "Oh, she's not going alone. She's going with her best friend who's 19." I'm like, I would have if that was in my situation, I would have allowed her to go if the parents were.
Yeah.
You know, but if it's like, no, just a couple of kids going in some country they don't know, I'm like, hell fuck no. And then Jean Grey here is like, "You're a horrible father." I'm like, shut the hell up.
But no, Brian signs the thing of giving consent, and then they go off. He finds out that, oh, it's not just France, they're following you too. And again, you're like, why?
Dude, I was watching this last night, in the middle of the night. I laughed so fucking hard. We were like funny.
I don't remember thinking, was YouTube big in 2008? Can't remember.
I don't. Right? Same here. I was like, I guess when they were really big in early 2000s, like 2001 onwards.
And then, like all bands, they kind of like peaked, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah,
they just needed a band.
Yeah. And then Kim and her friend are met by this guy who's like, "Hey, can you wanna share a taxi?" And like, you get the sense of like, these are not the smartest people in the world, because they're like, "Sure, we can share a taxi, stranger."
Yeah. Like, okay, yeah, right. As friendly as it is, that's a big no-no.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know him, and of course the girl's like, "I'm gonna sleep with him." I'm like, okay. And she's like, "You just met him." See, what's her name again?
Brian's daughter, Kim.
Yeah, Kim. That's the smart one.
Yeah.
You know, that's the smart one of the bunch. We're like, we don't know him.
Yeah.
Why are we going to a party with him?
Right. And then Brian's trying to call Kim because one of the conditions was, "Hey, once you land, can you long distance call me?" I don't know how that works either. Brian's like, "You know what? I'll just pay the bills."
The man is, CIA, so
that's right.
Or ex-CIA, so he kind of knows his shit.
Yeah.
And I say that's fine. Like, hey, call me when you land. Call me when you get to the hotel. Call me if you're gonna leave somewhere.
Yeah.
Fine. At least he's letting you do it. All you have to do is just ring him up. He's already paying for your phone bills.
But after she's calling him, you see Amanda get taken. Then she gets taken too. I like this is where the movie picks up, where he's like, "Look, hide under the bed. This is gonna be the hardest part. You're gonna get kidnapped." She's like, "Oh, okay."
I love that. There's like, "Judy, sorry to bring it to you, but you're gonna get kidnapped," and she's just like, "Oh yeah." But these are really good advice though, for like, like if you're in a call with somebody, shout out like as much detail as you can.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a survivalist.
That is haunting though when she's like, "I think they're gone," and she gets pulled away. You're like, "Oh shit." That's how it mostly happens. And then you
Yeah.
hear Kim shout details, and then it goes silent, and you hear the famous phrase of Brian, like, "Don't have much money. If you end this now, I'll let you go. But if you don't let her go, I will find you, and I will kill you." And then the guy's like, "Heh, good luck."
Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask the CIA buddy to be like, "Hey, can you tell me about these guys?" Meanwhile, he tells Frank Me Jensen and rich guy like, "Hey, Kim's been taken. Why don't you train her better, you fucking idiots?"
They trained her, man. She was a good kid.
Or like,
It's just the mom being like, oh, let her be, like, let her get out there when she's,
yeah, you didn't
sorry.
lend her a
There's
taser
the
or pepper.
father's side of me, like, coming out. I'm like,
You didn't give her
I
a
think-
kind of pepper spray or a small taser at least.
I don't think you're allowed to bring those.
He goes to Paris, and that's where the hunt begins. I do like how the movie isn't like, oh, right away he's John Wick tearing Paris apart. And he's just a normal dude investigating where's the gang at. He knows it's a bad gang. It's like, oh, you only have 96 hours until you don't hear from your daughter ever again. So it's a time limit, and he even tries to get the help of the local police chief, John or Gene.
Mm.
And he's like, "Hey man, I know we worked before, but now I'm behind a desk, can't do jack shit." He's like, "All right, guess I'll do it myself." And it's just Liam Neeson, or Brian at least, being a detective before, wrecking shit, which makes sense.
Yeah.
For such
I like
grounded
that. I
movie.
like that.
Yeah.
Like, he finds his way to get into the apartment that they were kidnapped in, and he just does this whole CSI thing. Where
Yeah.
he recreates a situation in his head. And he finds clues. Did they tell us what the hair thing that he picked out of the mirror thing was? No?
I just assumed they smashed poor Kim's face, and you're like, oh, poor girl.
Oh god. No, because he took out something for evidence and he put it in and then
Yeah. No, they never said. But he does learn that it's a gang of Albanians who became violent, and like he hires like a translator, and then he goes to one of the prostitutes to be like, "Hey, how much?" And she's like, "Huh? That's not how this works." She's like, "You have a package deal?"
I love it. They're like, and Liam Neeson, be as uncomfortable as possible. And he did a really good job.
You have a package deal, it's like a 2-for-1 thing. You're like, what the fuck? And
Yeah,
then,
right? And he was like, hey, yo, leave me alone. Even I was like, man, leave the prostitute alone.
and then one of the guys is like, "You're costing me money. If I see you again, I'll shoot you." And then that's one of the bug things, and like tells the translator. Poor guy's like, "Can I know why I'm here?" "No."
No.
"Why are you?" "No." "Can't." "No."
You could leave. He paid him for God knows how many hours just
Yeah.
for one mess. I was like, I think you could keep the guy. He could have been your comedy relief or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
But that's not this movie. And you see it and when he rescues one of the women, and he's driving through the construction yard, just tearing down the cars and houses. You're like, oh, it's this kind of gritty action movie. That makes sense. He's again, it's a normal guy. And if
It
it's
is-
good-
It is fucked up though. Now that you think about it, that one scene where it's just a hallway of curtains,
yeah,
and then each one has a woman, handcuffed,
yeah.
and
pretty
it's just a bunch of construction workers outside. I'm like,
Yeah, it gets pretty dark, and you,
it does.
Yeah.
It really does. I was like, hey yo, I didn't know this was in this movie.
right?
Or me rewatching it for this review, I was like, holy shit, I forgot this was a thing in the movie.
Yeah. He rescues the one woman because she has Kim's jacket, and then he hooks her up to an IV line and does all the medical procedures to so he can ask her can you please tell me where you got this? Meanwhile, the police chief is like, can you stop wrecking Paris, please? My chief is like, can you get this man out? I have a letter saying that you don't have to come with us in chains, so you're good. But he's like, nah, I'm gonna find my
Yeah.
daughter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's on the police chief's... That's the police chief's fault, though.
Yeah,
Because he's like, oh, your daughter's missing? You gotta abide by the rules. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, if that was my daughter, I'm like, fuck your rules.
Right? And then the woman tells where Kim was at, and then he goes there, and impersonating John himself. I'm surprised the Albanians are like, you sound American for a French guy.
You're right. Right? I was like, oh.
It's like, your name is...
You sound so oddly Scottish for a French dude.
Oh, you mean Irish, because Liam Neeson's Irish.
Irish. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He's like, your name is John. You don't sound like a John.
You don't sound like a John.
And he's like negotiating this deal, and I'm like, I'm surprised they don't just shoot you and bury you in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this guy's out of his mind. Let's just kill him. We'll just tell the police chief what happened. And they'll be like, since they corrupt you, they'll be like, alright, sure, they're messing with our business.
No, but like, and then he's like, I told you I'd find you. And
Yeah.
he's like, huh?
He's like,
one of the guys, oh shit,
it's you.
it's him.
And at least a pretty good shootout, I would say. A bit too cutty too. You're just like, I can't see shit, but sure.
It wasn't, the shootouts were too action movie-esque, where it's like unlimited amount of bullets, them just,
again, it felt real. Like, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Like, when Liam would, like, shoot like this, he wouldn't hit anyone.
Yeah.
Unless you were, aiming down. So I was like, okay, at least it's realistic enough.
Yeah. And then upstairs he finds Kim's friend who died of an overdose. And you're like, shit, this movie's pretty dark, I forgot. And then you cut to the torture scene, and you're like, oh, it's getting darker. Jesus Christ.
That was fun. It was like, you got a bonus. I was like, ooh.
I don't know why the guy spit on him the second time, Rick. He just electrocuted you, fucking idiot.
You got 2 metal sticks coming out of your leg. You really want to insult this one.
Yeah.
And he's like, what was it? Like, he zaps him twice.
Yeah.
Until he, like, spills it. And then he was like, please spare me. The guy who sold your daughter off. And I was like, nah. He just leaves him just like...
I'm going back before, like, when he finds Peter, I like how non-stealthy he does it. He's not like, I'm gonna kidnap him in this car and I'm gonna take him somewhere to interrogate. No, he
goes in the taxi and just starts wailing on him. Outside of the airport's like...
they're like, what the fuck? Yeah. And then Peter dies by Optimus Prime. Rick, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, poor Marco is left there being electrocuted for eternity as Brian goes to the police chief's house, and his wife is like, oh, look who dropped by for dinner. And the guy's like, fuck.
Yeah. Wait, why was he in trouble again? Like, what did Brian find out?
He found evidence. No, because he was talking to the Albanians about this deal, and he's like, oh, the police must be involved. They must be corrupt. And John is one of them. And the argument escalates pretty quickly. You're like, do you want dark or white meat? Boy, you're working with the drugs. You're like, what?
Shoots like the arm.
It's only a flesh wound.
It was okay. She was a nice lady.
And then the guy tells him where they're having this auction for the ladies. And then he goes to the place and, like, he sneaks in one of the rooms, but he knocks out one guy, forgets to hide the body, and he's like, goes to the room where the guy's auctioning. He's like, buy this woman. He's like, alright, I'll buy her. And he just walks out and he goes, boom. Rick, oh, of course, because they're like, that's John. Why is he knocked out? Anyways,
wait, where was he, like, later on? Like, why didn't they just kill him right off the bat?
I don't know. The American tried to kill him. He's like, alright, after I tell you my big bad of why this organization is the way it is, I'll kill you later. Like, what?
Okay.
Like, why did you just snap his neck when he's unconscious?
Yeah. But it was fun though, because like he breaks the pipe.
Yeah.
Thus knocking out one of the guys.
Yeah.
And then he just takes care of everybody. And I love this scene where the guy tries to run away. He shoots him in the leg again. And then he was like, why are they selling her? Where are they taking her? And he finally says it.
Yeah.
And he was like, have mercy. And he just does the Sicario thing.
Yeah. It's like, it's just business, never personal. It's like, it was always personal to me. Like, He has a
Bap,
voice.
bap, 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 bap. I was like, yeah.
I thought when he was chasing the boat with the car, they would do the over the top, like he's gonna land on the boat with the car.
You sitting here. I was like, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
But no, again, realistic. He just sneaks upon the boat by jumping over the bridge, and he's landing correctly.
Yeah, he pulls Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah. This is the only time the movie where it gets really action movie-esque, where he has to rescue the daughter and take out the bodyguards, and even the guys. I guess the guy's either main bodyguard or son. He takes out pretty quickly. Like, you know what? At this point, makes sense. Like they're all just security, and he's like ex-military, ex-CIA. He has a bit more training. The guy with a knife on Kim's throat. He's like, he hesitates. Like, we can negotiate. You're like, why?
I was like, man's charisma was at 0.
Yeah.
Like, we can negotiate. I was like, sick. I would have done the same thing.
And even though Kim has been through traumatic events, she seems pretty fine by the end.
Yeah.
'Cause
By the way,
he takes her to the singer house. She's like, oh, sure, I can sing. She's not like, Dad, I need therapy. I don't need lessons.
I don't need singing lessons. I need therapy. No, but hey, this one's free. I don't know if you noticed, like, you never see Kim walk. Like, every time she sees her dad or mom, she's always running. Like, rewatching, I swear to God, you never see this girl walk unless she's, like, dazed out of her mind because of all the drugs.
Yeah. But yeah, that's been our video on the first Taken movie, and like, unfortunately, it starts here, and this just.
Oh, okay, hold on. First Taken movie is kind of like, it starts out here, middle point. Goes up a bit once he's investigating. Goes down a bit once he goes to the construction area. Goes up again in the boat scene. And then just dips. Once they're like, okay, here, this is the ending.
No, I meant not the movie, I meant the franchise. Like the first one, you're like, oh, this is pretty good. Or this is good.
There were other Taken movies?
Yeah. Do you not know about Taken 2 and 3?
Oh. What? Taken 2 where? This time, like, come on.
I think Kim is kidnapped by the dad of the guy who was holding her hostage at the end. Because he wants revenge on Brian. And then in the movie number 3, Brian is with Jean Grey, but Jean Grey gets fridged, and then he has to find out why he's being framed. Forrest Whitaker's in that movie too. Yeah, it's all it sounds like maybe the second one. Oh, okay.
I was just up, then just comments. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a good action movie. It's a good spy thriller. It's like, if you wanna in the mood of something a bit more grittier, not as bombastic as say like Kingsman, this is the way to go. And it's a classic for a reason. It's a really good action movie, except for the shaking cam or the cutty stuff. And I wish, if you're trying to tell a straightforward story, I wish they would go this route, because it's one of the blueprints of like, this is how you do a good action story.
I agree. Like, it's the action and the searching parts of this movie is very spread out evenly. You know, like, you're kind of there with him when he's trying to look for his daughter. I always find it funny when Liam Neeson tries to act as his character trying to act. You know, like his character's trying to portray somebody else. Yeah, I always found it funny. Like, it never really worked, but it's fun. But yeah, I do like this movie. The action's fairly decent. Besides the hand-to-hand combat, it's a little bit too cutty. Yeah. The story is very straightforward. I feel like they should have just stayed with like this one-time thing. Yeah. Yeah. This could have been like a cult classic or just a classic.
Yeah. What would you rate the first Taken movie?
I would rate this one a solid. No, not a solid. I would say a 7.5 out of 10. It's a pretty good, like, spy movie, as you said. Is it as good as James Bond?
What's James Bond?
Mission Impossible. I don't know, like anything that came out in the same era. Like Mission Impossible, not really. But is it one of Liam Neeson's best? I would say so.
Yeah. Again, we're meeting on the same score. I'll also give this a 7 because I can't picture myself giving it any score higher, you know, or lower. Because I'm like, give it an 8. Why? It's a pretty good movie. It's just happy where it is. And in terms of other Liam action movies, this is the most sensical, I would say. And the one that is the best out of all the let's milk Liam Neeson's action starness until it's no more. But yeah, I have a question for you. Have you seen other Liam Neeson action movies where you're like, why?
There were others? Like what? Like name me one.
I watched one with my family because my family chose this for I think movie day. It was called Memory, where Liam Neeson is an assassin who has Alzheimer's, but the Alzheimer's has nothing to do with anything. He just goes, "Oh, I forgot about that." You're like, what? It's not like he forgets how to use a gun, or or how to be an assassin.
I don't know if it was a comedy.
It should have been. Because you're like, at the same point, I think this is an insult to people who have Alzheimer's. It definitely is.
It's kind of like with Ben Affleck with The Accountant.
I like The Accountant, though.
I like The Accountant too, but the whole autism aspect had nothing to do with the action part.
I forgot. I was like, alright, that's why he's so good with Accountant.
Yeah, like Ben Affleck's character is autistic, thus making him the perfect killing weapon. I'm like, what? That was the premise of the Predator movie, but okay.
But yeah, that should be a red flag of like, this person had, like, if there's an action movie like, he has ADHD. Like, no, thank you. I can say that because I have it.
I have it too. Wait, so what?
He hyper-focuses on
to chase someone, but we see like a situation on the side of our like at a corner. We just start shooting around, and we forget that we have another thing going on. That would be great, though. Yeah. That would be very great.
Like finally, something I can relate to. Another Liam Neeson movie. There's a Liam Neeson movie in a plane. You're like, why?
No, the ADHD movie will be called Hyperfocus. It'll be great.
What Liam Neeson movies do you guys like? Whether that be one of the really good ones like Schindler's List and Batman Begins, or one of the what do you call that? The guilty pleasure ones like Memory, apparently. Even though I think that's borderline. No.
Look, hey yo, the movie's taking effect on me because I really don't remember it.
Neither do I. But yeah, that's been our video on the first Taken movie. If you guys want to see more of us, please like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on TikTok and Spotify. TikTok to see our best and funniest moments. Spotify to hear us on the go. And the video you can find me at KenjiOffice1995 on Twitter. How about you?
Oh, you can find me at JongGio__ on Instagram. Yes, America. Yes.
Good. But yeah, we have one more spy thriller, and this is out of the 3 of these, this is the loudest one, I would say.
Yes.
Yes. Alright. Until then, we'll see you there. Bye, guys.
Ciao.